Hello, today I wanted to talk about adopting a cat in Japan and specifically talk about my experience. Before you adopt a cat, you have to make sure you're prepared for the responsibility of caring for one. It's a pretty big commitment. You have to make sure that the place you're staying in actually allows cats. Usually you have to pay a pet deposit. In my case, it was about 1 month's rent. They can be really costly due to food and litter and also vet bills, so make sure you keep this in mind. It's really important to think of these things because a lot of people will adopt a cat on a whim and then realize the responsibility later and then try to surrender the cat at the shelter or just abandon them. With that out of the way, let's move on. There are a few different organizations you can adopt a cat from in Japan, but I'm only going to specifically talk about two that I have experience with. One is Japan Cat Network and the other is Tokyo Cat Guardian. Tokyo Cat Guardian has a cat cafe which is open to the public. It's called a cat cafe, but it's not really like a normal cat cafe. There isn't any food or drinks. It's just basically a place where people can interact with the cats that are living in their shelter. I visited this cat cafe before, but I've never actually adopted from this organization. Like most shelters, they require an interview and an adoption fee. You can visit the cat cafe without a reservation. Just make sure you bring a donation of 1,000 yen, which is about $10 US, and also a form of ID. As for Japan Cat Network, I actually adopted Peggy from them. The volunteers are super friendly and the process isn't difficult at all, but the shelter is not actually open to the public like Tokyo Cat Guardians is. If you have a particular cat you're interested in, you'll be allowed to visit the cat, of course, before you commit to adopting. Some of the cats live in the shelter and some live with their foster carer. First, you have to submit an application through their website. Then after that, you will be interviewed by a volunteer, but it's not anything to be nervous about. They just want to know that you're prepared for caring for a cat and you know the commitment. After this, you will be allowed to visit the cat, whether they live in the shelter or a foster carer's home. If you're happy with moving on with the adoption process, then a volunteer will bring the cat to your home and also do a home inspection just to make sure things are cat friendly. This means having actual locks on your window so that cats can't escape, and also having the appropriate cat things like a cat litter box, cat bowls, etc. I paid an adoption fee of around 10,000 yen, which is $100 US. All shelters will have an adoption fee to cover costs such as vaccinations or desexing, etc. After adopting Peggy, I actually decided to volunteer with the Japan Cat Network and I would visit their shelter frequently, except when the pandemic got a bit serious. I had to stop visiting the shelter just for safety, and at that time I just decided to foster Yumi instead. There are a lot of adult cats that need foster homes, so if you're patient and willing, I really recommend you reach out to Japan Cat Network. A lot of them need experience with socializing with humans. Actually, when I first got Peggy, she was quite vicious, and also Yumi was really timid when I first got her, but with a lot of time and patience, they really came out of their shell and are totally just loving and clingy and are the best. So it's so worth it and just very rewarding. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them.